Okay, here we are with another camera comparison, this time with the best of the S line, the S24 Ultra, and the best of the A line, the A55, 4K 30 frames per second uh, front-facing camera. But remember that you can also record up to 4K 60 frames per second with the front-facing camera on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. But as usual, we are just going to leave this front-facing camera comparison video at 4K 30 frames per second on both. And let's see here. And now I'm going to move forward so we can check the stabilization. Let me do a little bit of a run, as some people have asked me to do, so we can check the stabilization even more. So once again, Galaxy S24 Ultra and Galaxy A55, 4K 30 frames per second, and we are going to start this comparison now. Okay, let's now do the 1080p 60 frames per second on both front facing camera. 1080p 60 frames per second, S24 Ultra and A55 at 1080p 60 frames per second. And let me keep panning around, and let's see here. What do you think? Let me keep panning around. At 1080p 60 frames per second on both, and check here. Now let me do a little bit of a run so we can check the stabilization once again. And what do you think? Okay, let's finish this one with the 1080p 30 frames per second, and let's focus more on the image quality, and because I think the stabilization is pretty good on both of them. So this one is 1080p 30 frames per second, Galaxy S24 Ultra and Galaxy A55, 1080p 30 frames per second. I'm going to move quickly just in this direction, quickly check the stabilization. And what do you think? Okay, if you have been following the channel for a while, you know I don't like to make any comments during my camera comparisons because I don't want my own taste and preferences influence yours. But I think I have to finally give you my overall opinion about the S24 Ultra cameras. I have reserved this opinion until now because I've been waiting for the camera updates that were supposed to bring the much needed improvements since the day of release. I waited for as long as until after One UI 6.1.1 update that rumors were saying it was going to finally fix all the issues. Well, the wait is over, and I'm sorry to say that I'm personally still not convinced about the cameras on the S24 Ultra, and I think this year Samsung missed the mark. Mind you, I'm not saying it has bad cameras, but they should have been noticeably better. For me personally, it is unacceptable that the cameras on Samsung's mainstream, most expensive phone, the latest and greatest so far, are not better or at least on par with the cameras on its predecessors across the board in every single category. For me, it is unacceptable that maybe it is better 50% of the times, on par 30% of the times, and worse 20% of the times. No, sorry, they have to be better at least 80% of the times and maybe on par 20% of the times, period. I cannot accept that the long-range zoom from 10 times and over, one of the best selling points of recent years, whether you really use it or not, is not better than on the S23 Ultra. I've seen and heard people saying that they are. No, they are not. If you want to lie to yourself to make you feel good about your purchase, that's another thing. I cannot understand that things like the overall dynamic range is not better than on the S22 Ultra. At least the Exynos version. I cannot speak for the Snapdragon version because I've never had it. I cannot understand the inconsistency of the front-facing camera producing great shots like this one and then rubbish shots like these ones with a blown out and overexposed background, even worse than on the A55. I cannot accept this kind of portrait shots with poor edge detection from time to time, worse than on the A55. Are you going to seriously tell me that this is right on a top-of-the-line device like this one? Really? I don't think that Samsung can bring any more improvements on the S24 Ultra through software updates, and I hope that the S25 Ultra can redeem Samsung's mistakes this year with the S24 Ultra. I really do. I've been a Samsung fan for a long time, but being a blind brand loyalist and letting Samsung get away with these things are not going to do you, do me, or even Samsung any favor. Just think about that. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about my final verdict on the S24 Ultra cameras. Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you in the next one. Hasta la vista.